Alrighty guys, well, good morning and welcome back to an all new episode of Maksim Outdoors. And this week, as you can see behind me, I'm not in my normal campground setting or backpacking. I decided to splurge a little bit this week, and I went out and rented one of these old 1930s CCC built rustic cabins. And if you want to see more about this, I'll be coming out with a cabin video, so you can check it out if you're interested in booking this. It was a little over $50 a night, which you can't really beat that. You got heat, you got a fridge, what else do you need? So I don't want to make this intro too long and too boring, but as you've probably already seen, we are currently here at Parker Dam State Park in Clearfield County. And we're going to be doing around probably between 8 to 10 miles a day if the weather holds off. As you know, I like to bring the rain with me. It's a pretty dreary morning, as you can see outside. But yeah, hiking wise, we are going to start here, obviously at the cabin, hike on down the road. There is a trail known as Trail of New Giants here. We'll be hiking that. It's around a mile and a half. There's supposedly a very nice viewpoint at the top. We'll be coming down to this road, catching the CCC trail, hiking this all the way up to this road, and then coming back down the Laurel Run Trail all the way around the lake before ending our day back at the cabin. So that's the gist. It is peak fall foliage according to the DCNR, so hopefully we'll be seeing some very vibrant colors out there today. And it's also the beginning of hunting season. Pretty much every one of these 16 cabins up here are full hunters right now. So I'm gonna have to do my best not to try and not get shot today. But yeah, I'll show you a little bit outside. I'll show you the exterior of the cabin real quick. And I'll be throwing on my book bag and we'll be exploring Parker Dam, State Park number 29 for the channel. Well, in Pennsylvania that is. So let's check out outside real quick. And here you are, you got this nice little patio area, fire pit, picnic table. And as you can see, the fall colors are definitely in full effect. You can see a big old oak tree up there. It's starting to lose its leaves. But yeah, in just a couple more weeks, this will be just a bunch of barren treetops. And you also have this nice little hemlock forest with a couple white pines mixed in, but pretty cool nonetheless. So just wanted to show you some of the fall colors here before we get hiking, as well as a nice shot of the cabin. So, all right, let's go get the book bag on. Alrighty folks, well I have discovered the trailhead, but decided to take a little detour. The Trail New Giants is just on the other side of the road here, but a good detour indeed. So just behind me here is probably the main gem, the crown jewel of Parker Dam State Park. Another remnant from the CCC era. Those CCC boys would have came out here and built this dam back in the 30s. And yeah, the rest is history. But can't beat this. Nice Friday morning, got the entire lake to myself, taking in all this beautiful fall foliage. You can't really beat it on this misty morning here in the Pennsylvania wilds. Yeah, so I'm gonna hang out here for a couple minutes, just take this all in, do a little forest bathing as they call it here, right along Parker Lake. And I will say this, to put into a little bit of perspective, I showed you on the map what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be heading up into these hills here, and then eventually be heading back down this way for about a mile, catching the CCC trail, which meanders along, I believe this is Laurel Run, and then eventually we will be popping out all the way down there on the other side of the lake. So yeah, I'm going to hang out here like I said, and then I'll see you at the beginning of the trail. All right, one last look here at the beautiful Parker Dam draped in fall foliage. But I do want to bring up one other point. As you know, if you've been following my channel, I always say each and every one of these Pennsylvania state parks have their own kind of character, their own story. so this one is no different. There's two main stories here at Parker Dam, and the main one, as you probably already guessed, is the CCC, as it is in so many other parks, but the CCC seems extra prevalent in this park. Just behind me here, they have the Lou and Helen Adams CCC Museum. It's only open certain days. We're probably not going to get lucky, or on appointment, I believe. But I did want to show you some of these old tractors here. And these would have helped pave the way and make Parker Dam what it is today. So pretty interesting. You don't really see CCC equipment too often at these parks. So I wanted just to highlight these real quick. But yeah, check out these views below the dam. Pretty much every picture you see of Parker Dam, you see this cascading dam, but unfortunately, even with all the rain we got last night, no waterfall, no cascade. So we'll actually be crossing this at some point today. But all right, enough rambling. I wanted to show you one of the main stories of the park. The second main story we'll be talking about in a couple minutes as soon as we hit the trail. So stay tuned for that. And par for the course, I'm on the trail, which of course it means it has to rain. Well folks, hopefully you can hear me well, but as promised, the rain has arrived like it does on so many of my trails. And we have also arrived at our first trail of the day. We have just got here to the Trail of New Giants, and you can see these beautiful maple trees welcoming me to the beginning of the trail here. So hopefully you can hear me well. Hopefully the rain isn't muffling out the microphone on my GoPro too much. But so we touched a little upon some of the basic history here at Parker Dam just a few minutes ago. Your typical Pennsylvania history that involves the CCC, the lumber industry, yada, yada, yada. Things that you probably have heard me talk about plenty of times on this channel. But this park does have a cool side of history. Well, cool depending on who you are, I guess. But back in May of 1985, one of the largest tornado groups, clusters, whatever you want to call them, came through this area and just totally destroyed, devastated this area. If you watch Twister, if you know a little bit about tornadoes, you'd know that an F5 tornado is a pretty big deal. So an F5 touchdown within the park, right where we're going to be heading through, just a couple feet away, and just ravaged this area back in 1985, nearly 40 years ago. Speaking of that, it makes me feel really old that 1985 was almost 40 years ago. But yeah, that's besides the point. So just to put it into scale, since I like doing that, this tornado actually traveled nearly 70 miles all the way through this park and then some. So this trail was basically to show off how a forest can redevelop and thrive after, you know, such a major disaster. So we're going to start the hike, Trail of New Giants here in this nice, beautiful fall weather as I get soaked once again for you guys. Well, we have put a little bit of distance between the lake and ourselves. And back to the tornado talk. I was reading the pamphlet last night talking about the history and whatnot in this park. Obviously, the tornado happened nearly 40 years ago, so most of this forest has regenerated. And obviously not all of the trees were blown over during that massive event. But they said if you keep your eyes out, you could still see some of the devastation from back in 1985. Probably like this tree as well as all these other down trees around. So I kind of already mentioned this trail is a little under a mile and a half, and you're rewarded with a pretty awesome payoff at the end, that nice little vista. So we're gonna head up there and hopefully the rain slows down a little bit. So that's the goal, to make it to the vista. All right, well, we made it to this nice little clearing. Figured I'd give you a nice little 360-degree view of some fall foliage. And hiking this time of year always brings me back to the days when I used to go hunting with my brother. You know, the same kind of weather, the same kind of smell, that dirty, leafy smell that you smell all autumn. But as you can see, a good bit of the trees are nice and golden, nice and vibrant, but there are a good bit that are still green. It's about 50-50 here where I stand. We're kind of in a birch forest right now, mixed in with some oaks and whatnot, but a lot of these birches still are pretty green. So you could easily come out here in the next couple weeks and still get some really good colors. But wanted to talk about the trail as well. Very well maintained. The blazes are kind of far and few between, but no complaints for me so far. So we're going to keep gaining some elevation, and you'll probably see me next at one of the overlooks. Alrighty, well, we haven't made it to the viewpoint just yet, but I couldn't pass showing you guys this. So we obviously mentioned the tornado that came through this area, the F5 tornado, and you could see some of the devastation it left behind. Looks like a lot of these are birch trees on top of this hill, but I don't think I've ever seen so much down timber in my life. Everywhere you look, a tree is down. But on the other hand, you can see just how much this forest has rebounded since 1985. So all these trees are probably, you know, 35 years old at this point. Pretty interesting. So we're going to continue on, and hopefully this time I will see you at the overlook next. All right, well, we are on the little spur trail to get to the vista. And if I remember right, I think we gained about 160 feet in elevation within maybe an eighth of a mile. So pretty straight up. But yeah, like I said before, this trail has been excellent so far. So I will see you at the top of the vista for sure this time. Alrighty, folks, well, as you can hear, the rain has been pretty much consistent all morning. I am drenched once again, like always on this channel. But I believe we have reached the peak, got a couple benches and a fence. So let's check out this vista for the first time together here. Wow. And there you have it. Look at all those rolling hills in the distance, all the fall foliage. Here on a nice Friday morning in Clearfield County, you can make out what is Parker Lake off in the distance. Hard to believe we were just walking around the shores of that less than an hour ago. So I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit, get a couple shots, and then we will be heading right back down towards Parker Lake. So alrighty, folks, as the rain continues to come down and the wind picks up, I just wanted to show you this. The original viewpoint that we just came from was about 100 feet down that way, and I just want to make sure that nobody else makes the same mistake that I did today. So if you come up here, make sure you skip out on that first viewpoint and walk up the hill just a little bit further, and you're presented with this just breathtaking view of Parker Lake off in the distance. And to top it off, you have all this fog developing over all these rolling hills here in Clearfield County, the fall foliage, just a dreary, misty day here in October. Couldn't ask for anything better. You know, if we don't see anything else today, this was by far worth coming up here. So do yourself a favor and make it up to this vista, because it is just amazing. So this will probably be the last viewpoint of this trail. We're gonna start descending on down, and the next trail we'll be hitting is the CCC trail. So stay tuned for that. Alrighty folks, well, we have descended quite a bit here, and as we pan to the left, you'll be able to make out a road just about a stone's throw away. So that brings up a good point. I've made the executive decision as CEO of Maksim Outdoors that we're going to wrap this video up. We're not going to make it a half an hour. And if you're curious, if you want to see more hiking from Parker Dam, stay tuned. Next week we'll be doing the CCC Trail as well as the Laurel Trail. So yeah, hopefully you guys all enjoyed our time here at Parker Dam State Park in Clearfield County. Saw some really awesome fall foliage as well as some outstanding viewpoints along the way. But yeah, I'll be seeing you back here next week, next Friday. So stay tuned for more Parker Dam next week. All right, guys.